Yep, perceptive stuff happening here on LolGals. Very, very perceptive. No one takes it seriously enough to actually impugn him for it. It should not mostly be you poorly relaying the story. You're bad faith, I can't talk to you anymore. It's like so pathetic. The statement, look the other way, means to ignore wrongdoing. That is what that means. Have you considered that if you literally can't come up with a way to counter what I'm saying, it might be worth considering that I'm just right.
Right.
Guys, the LolGals got uploaded. Do we want to try and do the endurance test? I saw this in my Discord earlier. Do we want to do the endurance test on this? The Kirsch legs photo? No, I have not seen the Kirsch legs photo. Do we have new Hogwatch updates? Pork sighting? Okay. Let's try and watch this. Send me, if you've got updates on how fat Kirsch is, then feel free to send those my way. But let's try and get through some of this, okay? I have not watched one of these in ages. I can't watch... J. Keith posted? Where? I can't keep watching just Chud reacting to TommyC. It's on the Twitter community. Oh. Yeah, I can't just keep doing TommyC and then doing Chud's reaction to TommyC and then constantly covering each side of that. It takes so f***ing long. Let's try. I have not tried the LolGals Endurance Challenge in a long time. Now recording is dead. So I can't do the now recording Endurance Challenge either. So we're going to try Leroy something versus Jesska Pizzle. In fact, it doesn't really matter what my cooker is. It's a movement. Leroy something and Jesska Pizzle. LolGals. Talking about Chud and Tommy, okay?
LolGals.
Welcome to episode 3000 of LolGals, the #1 show, the show that LolCal Queens was based off of. But we
wow, what a claim to fame! What a claim to fame!
Been here longer, so welcome. Today we are going to be talking about the community fall of Kuihman versus TommyC versus ChudLogic.
Yeah, it's not. So, also. Actually, it's pretty awesome that LolCal Queens is based off of us. Like, we're the OGs.
Right? We really are. We really are the OGs. I bet if we hadn't stolen LolGals, then they would have done it.
Yeah.
It really is just a better name.
It really is. Okay, so let's start from the top. Tommy, in general.
Oh, thank God. I'm glad these people hate each other too much to engage in small talk. Oh, God bless. Oh, thank you so much. Better than Politics Joe. Get straight into the topic.
Well, it just does not trust Chud based off of 3 arguments, right? Correct.
Yeah. It's like, so his thing with Chud, like, it sounds
heroic
like
voice training efforts from Leroy.
Based on his words and everything, it sounds like it really started when Chud he posted a clip of one of his lives, and it was like the commentary community is hell or whatever he said. And it was him about Connor and Augie and bitching about Nick, and Nick being like siding with H3H3 about it being a Nazi sword, you know? Yeah. And so Kuihman got onto that and was like shitting on Nick, saying that he's just sucking off Ethan Klein and that it wasn't a Nazi. So
okay. Look, I don't want to be too autistic about this, which that makes it sound like I saw the Nazi sword thing and I started going at Nick. Not quite what happened. We all saw the Nazi sword thing together, me, J-Stalk, and Aiden. We all thought it was retarded, and I've gradually lost patience with Nick's constant, not just avoidance, but the obvious thin-skinned sly jabs that he takes whenever someone criticizes him. It's like, I'm saying something that's like there's a clear point. It's clearly right, too. And Nick just goes, oh, yeah, this guy will get into villain of the week next week. When this guy has co-signed a lot of what I've said in the past, essentially. Going into Dolan Dark's chat, for instance. Not Dolan Dark. Deadwing Dork. Fuck's sake. That guy's chat. Try and get that guy to talk to me. All this stuff. So this guy's had, you know, thought I've had good criticisms before. That has said to me he'd be willing to talk if I ever had criticisms. And then all of a sudden, when there is one where he's obviously wrong, it's shutting down and slide jabs.
To these pints. Watter. Thank you for your service. Let's get that goal sorted.
Yo! Sorry, who was that? Who was that? Thank you, Anon is my name. Hugely appreciated. Thank you for the $53.90. I'm going to just reset the goal as we've immediately hit it. So, resetting the grift bar. But yeah, it's just like I've gradually lost patience over the last couple of weeks as Nick has been just an absolute... I think he's like a total loser. I'm going to be real at this point. It is just like totally disappointing, thin-skinned loser behavior. Just turn into just totally fortress, turn everything into sly jabs. When you've claimed you would be open to hearing disagreement before. It's very lame. It is very lame, and he's blatantly wrong on several points, and has been like provably wrong. Not just that, but obviously abandoned his principles, and it's like very clear, and it's very easy to lay out exactly how it's happened. I've done it many times, but yeah, he's absolutely not willing to hear it because it benefits him right now. Not just benefits him monetarily either, but it benefits his ego. I think that's what it's more about. He's attracted to strength. He's shown that with Destiny, with H3. If someone's winning, he wants to latch on and use them as an attack dog. He's even described H3 like that, saying he likes Ethan when he's just his attack dog. He likes to latch on to a stronger, older, male content creator that can do his dirty work for him, do the brave fighting, take the heat, you know, be the main character while he gets to sit there and watch. You know?
To me, it feels like that was the first time that like either Chud or Nick or Kuihman have ever said anything like that about Nick. And of course, Kuihman's been going after Tommy for a long time. Oh, it said the state of the commentary community, and it's got So and Tommy was like, well, Chud's a snake, and his reasoning is because I guess Chud will talk shit, and he's waiting for something big to happen to Nick to take him down, and Chud will talk shit behind Nick's back. He knows it. And then the other thing is that Chud basically leaked the fact that Boblax had a picture of himself in a dress. Yeah. And so he's like, you can't trust Chud with any information because it will leak eventually. And then the fact that he kept on bringing up Kuihman. So a lot of this, I think, is because Chud's friends with Kuihman, and Kuihman's been going ham on Tommy. But I think that's really the big thing.
Very perceptive.
You can't trust
very Chud. Perceptive from Jesska there.
Because he'll stab you in the back, and he leaks everything.
So Chud and Kuihman, like from what I've heard from their side, is that Chud and Kuihman, although they have DMs together, it's more essentially of Kuihman sending Chud stuff, and it's not necessarily talking behind the scenes. Maybe there is like a dialogue between Chud and Kuihman, but it's like a very minimal dialogue.
Well, Chud was no. So I know for a fact it's more than but Chud was referring to like his last few DMs. Not so much like all together when he said that Kuihman just sent me the last few things Kuihman did was send me some videos, and here's the videos but no, Kuihman and Chud are close. They're like friends. They're close. But Chud's thing is I'm not Kuihman. So like the thing that Tommy I think is doing like this guilt by association thing, where because Chud hasn't like totally disavowed Kuihman, and he just says, oh well, Kuihman, that's just Kuihman. That's just how Kuihman is. That Chud's kind of like would side with Kuihman more than, and like he's basically Chud and Kuihman are close, so Chud's not going to like go super ham on Kuihman unless it's something super bad.
So I do think there are times where Chud and Kuihman do disagree, and like Chud will say that they disagree.
We're not particularly close.
And I agree with Chud where it's I don't control Kuihman's actions. Kuihman is a grown adult. He does his own thing. Whereas on the TommyC end of things, you kind of see essentially like a group chat that is talked about, or like in the past, we've seen like the group chat talked about and leaked where folks are talking behind the scenes together one-on-one. And I think Tommy has that perspective that sort of dialogue is still happening or is happening between Kuihman and Chud, where I just don't see that.
Well, I mean, of course, I think that we don't see it because we wouldn't, but I also don't think Chud really has a lot of group chats that he's in. But he like, I don't know if you're part of Chud's Discord or Kuihman's Discord or even J Stock's Discord, But I
Mhm.
mean, they're pretty active in each other's discords for the most part. I mean, Chud's is dying down, but yeah, Kuihman in there, and they'll talk shit. Like during the President Sunday Beckett thing,
Yeah.
like they were. I don't know whether it was primarily in Chud's Discord or Kuihman's Discord or even President Sunday's Discord, but they were in there like talking shit about like Kuihman was talking. Was it Kuihman talking shit or President Sunday? Oh, President Sunday was pissed off at Nick, so they were talking shit about both parties. Like President Sunday was defending himself and talking shit about Nick. But I mean, they're in each other's discourse, but that's all public.
Yeah.
So
yes, people talk about internet drama when it happens in the internet drama discords. Yep, perceptive stuff happening here on LolGals. Very, very perceptive.
I mean, I think Tommy's kind of right that you can't really trust
Guys, I'm gonna set a goal.
any kind of information, because I swear that Chud did admit that he's the reason why the Destiny slept with Lauren Southern rumor started, because I know that.
Nope, that is okay. This is now okay. We are now 7 minutes in, and we've hit our first major inaccuracy. Oh man, let me set my goal. I will be happy. Smile. There we go. I haven't used this in ages. I should be using the goals more. So Chud did not start the rumors about Lauren Southern. That's not true. Anyone with eyes and ears, an IQ above 90, and no neuro atypicality could have figured out long before Chud said anything that Destiny had been fucking Lauren Southern. They could have figured it out when it was all going on, because this retard Destiny was posting about it all the time, baiting, being like a teenage girl, trying to act all coy about it, being like, hee, would you guys hate me if I dated Lauren? And all this retarded shit. Constantly going on about it. He made it blatantly obvious. Yeah, the stream together in DC, exactly around that time you could have known. Very easily, if you're not like complete mongoloid. Unfortunately, 90% of Destiny's audience are actually severely autistic people. So they didn't know, and they got very angry if you suggested that was the case. Now, there was, long before Chud said anything about it, there was a huge KF post that put all the evidence together that was very well known. And then, when Chud came around to reading the Mr. Girl Destiny report, it was obviously being referenced. The affair was being referenced in there, but no names were being given. And then Chud blurts out, it was Lauren Southern. We all know it was Lauren Southern. And then Counterpoints comes into chat and defends it. Sorry, not defends it, verifies it, says that did happen. They did have an affair. And then there's a whole freak out with Destiny and DGG. Melina messages Chud and dumps a bunch of info on him. And then, yeah, they have to stay quiet about it, but DK keeps posting about it. So yeah, it was not Chud that started the rumor. That's just not true.
Chud had kind of like slipped it, and DGG, that's like the main reason why Destiny blackballed Chud, was because Destiny blamed Chud for the Lauren Southern rumor starting. And
wasn't DK making like thumbnails that were implicating Lauren Southern and Destiny sleeping together?
Yeah, I think that was.
I'm not quite sure, so I'm not familiar with the Chud Lauren Southern Destiny stuff. All I know is that
Oh yeah, so there was it was 6 months ago. Oh no, that was after. That's when President Sunday did it.
Yeah,
when that was. But
the only thing I remember between like the Lauren Southern stuff was that Destiny or like DDG was like really pissed off at what DK was doing in thumbnails.
Yeah, because it says, so it was 2 years ago. Destiny.
Well, Counterpoints verified it was the first one to confirm the affair first. That's the thing. As much as he can say, he can deny it afterwards. He was the first one to confirm it. Because when Chud made the comment about it, everyone was calling Lauren a whore in chat, and he felt the need to come in and defend her. And he was like, oh yeah, there was an affair, but I don't know if anything like sexual happened or something like that. It was just they got too emotionally close for their partners or something like that. So he was the first one that even confirmed something happened. Fucking idiot.
Lauren Southern affair exposed.
What an idiot.
Ex-husband leaks Lauren's secret child with Destiny. And
I say idiot, but Counterpoints has always been like, you know, my Manchurian candidate, deep cover agent. You know, going back then, he confirmed the Lauren Southern affair. What else has he done? He was in Progressive Victory sabotaging it from the inside, coming on panels. Then he got Brianna Wu to get on a stream with me and debate me. Then he got on Destiny's stream and asked me if he was molested. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't even know how he got. Oh, I know. Yeah, and so the reason why Chud kind of figured it out was because I guess Melina, like I think Melina had reached out to Chud after that video and was messaging, like basically confirming that the issue between her and Destiny and the person that Destiny quote unquote cheated on was Lauren Southern. And I think at some point, like even Brittany Simon and a bunch of people, like a bunch of orbiters, started talking about it. And I think that's the main reason why Brittany Simon says she started not liking Destiny, was because she found out that Destiny was quote unquote cheating on Melina with Lauren Southern. And it all kind of stems from that. So that's why he got. And so I do think that it makes sense. But the problem with Tommy is he's obviously being like ultra fair to Nick, because how much shit has Nick leaked, you know? And it's not even just for not even just to, you know, prove somebody right or prove that someone was lying. Like Nick's accidentally let stuff slip before. Like even in that clip that Tommy shows where Aiden, or sorry, when Chud leaked it about Bobax being in a dress. Yeah. Even Turkey Tom was like, I like it how you guys, when something's leaked, instead of like going on and saying, yeah, that's not true, you guys go, ooh, and kind of solidify the fact that it's true. And that's something I've seen a lot between like Augie and Nick and all of them. Even like Bobax, like they've done that. And sometimes it's on purpose. I mean, when it happens so much, it kind of seems like it's on purpose. Like, I want to leak this, but I don't want to.
Yo, thank you for the raid, Resi. Welcome in, Resi. Raiders, welcome in.
I'm going to allude to it, or I'm going to kind of hint at it, or somebody else will just straight up say it. But I just don't think, I think Tommy has a point where if you don't want something to come out, don't tell Chud. But then also, if Tommy doesn't want something to come, don't tell Nick, don't tell anybody. Like, that's the internet. So
that was that has been my rule. I learned that lesson a while, where it's like, if you don't want people, say the stuff that you want people to publicly know, whether it's in private or you're saying it publicly. And if you're saying it in private, make sure that you say what you mean, and you're able to publicly, or you want to say it publicly, because people are leaky motherfuckers. Like the mango stuff, that all happened. And I do agree with you. It is a norm where in the commentary community, if something like a bit of information is leaked, the reaction on stream is whoa, 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 or oh my God, don't say that, or like it's an overreaction. And the only thing that I can recall was when the stuff with Mango, where she was stuck in Austin.
This is you know, if they get to the point, I think this is a good point, because anyone that's streamed for any length of time knows that if something's getting leaked, and you don't want it to be leaked, the best thing to do is to like try and ignore it, or act like you've got no idea what's going on. Like, I don't know why. Only if you, it's like an act of choice. If you start going, no, don't say that, don't say that. That's like an active choice you're making. And you know the result.
Austin, Texas, with that dude, Electric Blake, after VidCon happened. Where was it leaked? On Augie's stream.
Yep.
So and Tommy, like, he did this on the last stream, where it's like, if Tommy wants to go after Chud for being a bad person, for leaking stuff, then you have to go, you're setting a standard to where you have to go after everybody else, because the standard that you're setting is very unreasonable, especially in the commentary community, where a lot of things are leaked.
Yeah.
And the Bobax thing, the main argument is that on Tommy's stream, people were questioning, okay, well, you're mad at Chud for doing this on the New Year stream, for talking about the dress thing, and then it prompted Aiden to draw Bobax in a dress, and Aiden supposedly told you it was private. Now, Aiden has since gone on Chud's stream and said, oh, well, you know, it was implied that it was private, but I don't care that you said that. Or I don't know what exactly Aiden said, so I don't quote me verbatim, but yeah, Aiden pretty much said, well, it wasn't necessarily private. And it's okay that you said that, essentially. And Augie was already going around, because somehow Aiden got that picture. So it's like, how did Aiden get that picture of Bobax in a dress? It either came from Augie or Connor, and you're not mad at Augie or Connor. And then Tommy turns and says, oh, well, that happened in private, it's not public. And you're shifting the goalpost by being mad, or you're setting an unreasonable standard by being mad, and pivoting by being mad at Chud only and not Augie. So, and then the Turkey Tom argument is his main argument where he's like, Chud pressed Tom.
Great podcast.
On the New Year's stream and put Tom in an awkward position because Tom wasn't ready to distance himself from Destiny when Tom had live streams after the election stream saying that he was going to distance himself from Destiny and DDG. I can't say it.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to.
Painful listen.
He didn't want to cater to that specific audience only, or he didn't want to be known as a Destiny streamer only. And then the clip that I posted on my Twitter is Tom saying, "Well, he's talking about brigading Hassan, and I'm not really with that." Essentially, so Tommy, what's up?
No, go ahead.
Well, Tommy is getting that factually incorrect. And then I got Tommy to respond today because I didn't think he would engage with my Twitter post, but he engaged with it. Thought he was busy this weekend, but he's not busy. So he responded and he said, well, that's still a bad look for Chud. And it's like, no, this is what factually happened. It's not a bad look for Chud. Why don't you just say why you think it's a bad look for Chud? And then he's like, oh, I'll say it on stream. So it's like, Tommy, you're going to have another stream explaining yourself again when you already have a poor choice of words already. Like you already can't phrase things correctly or say things correctly. So
he posted he is getting sexual.
And he already
got the date wrong. Yeah, before the New Year stream, Turkey Tom did two things: talk about the Destiny leaks on stream, from DDG, and
see,
Destiny.
I'm getting.
I was reading your thing. I was reading yours because you typed in DDG.
Oh my god,
DDG is a actual person, and DGG DG.
I'm back.
I'm such a lame ass.
And then you said the New Year stream had no effect between Chud and you updated the stream occurred between dates, regardless of for the New Year stream. Tommy still has it factually with the reality of the situation.
Dude,
and then he said, "I plan to do it on stream," which does not make Chud look.
I didn't hear half of that. I literally did not hear half of that. Right, is this our pre-recorded podcast?
Good as you think. In fact, it's much worse if you think about it. To you, then I don't. So, can you tell me again? What did he say he planned to do on stream?
I apparently clarify this because I'm pointing out something that he made based off of his main argument. I'm pointing out factually that he's getting the timeline factually incorrect. Yeah. And he's saying, well, I plan on covering this clip, what I'm assuming on stream.
And you're saying that TommyC said the reason why that Chud and Turkey Tom had an issue after the New Year's Eve stream? Or
so Tommy's argument is that Chud pressed Tom on the New Year's Eve stream, and that put Tom in an awkward place because Tom wasn't ready to distance himself from Destiny and that crowd.
No. Okay, I see. See, that's where I got confused. So, no. TommyC was saying that Chud pressed Turkey Tom and Nick on the New Year's Eve stream about the Pixie situation. And Tom wasn't ready. Tom or Nick were not ready to say anything or give any opinions on the Pixie situation.
Did you know that Rezavir raided you so that you'll take his side in the Ico Resi bridge burn? What? There's an Ico Resi bridge burn? Is there some drama I need to cover? It's all there on my stream. Yeah, it was on Parry's stream. Please don't do this. It's terrible. What? Okay. Kilo's warning me here. Kilo, give it to me straight, Kilo. Is this people making retarded jokes that is going to be awful and dog shit? Or is it actually a fight and funny? Quella's saying it's real. And you ruined the content 20 minutes into it. How did Parry ruin the content 20 minutes in? What happened? Because he brought in CPCA. Wow. Wow. Ha 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 ha. Ha, it's so funny. CPCA is so funny. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Wow, smart stuff, Parry. Great content creation. See, Parry, now you understand why I don't bring you in a lot of conversations. Why Aiden doesn't bring you in a lot of conversations. Do you see it now? Do we see it?
Because she hadn't come out yet, and they didn't want it. So that's what TommyC was saying, which is clear. Now I don't know. I think TommyC thought you. I don't know. TommyC is just as bad as understanding tweets and shit. I think TommyC thought you were talking about what TommyC is saying here is he planned to talk to Chud on stream. Which is, I guess, but that's the thing.
So when you watch the New Year's Eve stream, Nick, Tom, and Chud are all talking about Melina. They're not talking about Pixie.
No, but Chud does mention he starts alluding to, he's basically saying, you guys know that there's more to it. You guys, and they were talking about the Pixie situation. And so Chud was trying to get them to talk more, so Chud was like, because I think this was after the Turkey, because this was after the initial leaks. and Chud was trying to get them to talk more about what they knew, because he was like, you guys know what I know. So, but yeah, it wasn't just about shoot. It was basically Chud alluding that he knew that he had more information that was available that confirmed.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, even from me, TommyC has gotten way too much leeway just off of the fact that I already assume him to be a complete retard. You know, like anyone else, if they were so consistently wrong about so much shit in a way that just benefits their story, it would be like this person would be considered one of the most disgusting liars on the face of the fucking earth. But because it's already assumed that TommyC is a complete fucking retard, not worth listening to, no one takes it seriously enough to actually impugn him for it. To women, I'd say like there's probably like 1.25 women here.
The things, because Tom's thing was, oh, you know, or Nick really was the one that was saying, well, maybe he's not talking about the current leaks that are out. Maybe Melina was talking about the Leafy stuff. And so Chud was like, no, you guys know more about this. You guys know, you have confirmation that those videos were leaked unconsensually. You guys know about it. And he was talking about the fact that Pixie hadn't confirmed publicly that she was the one in the leaks, but everyone knew privately behind the scenes that it was Pixie, because everyone at least had the DMs between, I believe it was Pixie and Straighterade, or Pixie and Erudite. So
everyone knew publicly it was Pixie already at that point?
No, because Pixie hadn't come out and said it was her.
So regardless of whether Pixie came out at that point, people were already connecting the dots because people on Kiwi Farms were looking at that picture, the pictures of Pixie, and saying that that's Pixie. And then Turkey Tom, on that stream that I clipped Tom from, he's already going over the leaks because people were giving him shit that in one of the pictures that was posted on Kiwi Farms, that the back of somebody's head or whatever looked like Tom, I believe. Or that one of the pictures looked like Tom.
Wait.
I don't think any of them look like Tom. I don't think any of them look like Tom. I think it was just because Destiny was sucking someone's dick and everyone just said it was Tom. Because he'd been making that documentary with Destiny recently. I don't think there was any actual reason to think it was Tom. What are they on about? Thank you for the $4.99. It makes me sad to see no one in this chat wants to see you happy. So true, so true. Clearly no one wants to see me happy. Very true. Turn on the emotional manipulation. That's based. I should chill though. Guys, 327 people here, 36 likes on stream. Some of those 290 people might please move the cursor thumbs up and clicking it or pressing the thumbs up on the mobile device. That'd be hugely appreciated. Now, if you want to take sport one step further, you can do it directly through the Stream Elements link in the pinned chat message. You can also buy a membership to the channel, gift a membership to the channel, gift a bunch of memberships randomly throughout the chat. Buy a super chat, which will highlight your message and read it on TTS, or buy a super sticker, which is a YouTube image or GIF. They'll be highlighted in chat and I'll describe it to you. You can go to discord.gg/Kuihman, go.com/Kuihman, or reddit.com/r/Kuihman. Also, guys, huge push right now for active community engagement. Run a Reddit account, run a Discord account, run a Twitter account. Always be clipping ABC. There's an ABC's guide on the subreddit. And post like hell. I know you'll post peacefully. I know you'll post peacefully. Remember, guys, the people you hate the most, they fear you having a Twitter account and talking your shit. Okay? They hate that idea. They hate that. So make sure you're out there, being present, being around, clipping, posting. Awesome stuff. Okay. Thank you.
So Tom wasn't talking about the.
I'm trying to get the subreddit age
New Year's
thing
Eve stream,
fixed.
but he was getting pissed off because people thought it was him in the getting knob.
Tom and anyone who's
So
otherwise being
on
blackmailed by
11/30,
Destiny.
this stream either occurred between the dates of 11/30/24 or 12/3/24. So sometime between November 30th, 2024 and December 3rd, 2024, Tom was already going over the leaks, and he went over the specific DMs that Destiny had with.
I heard Tom actually carved Destiny's name into his chest. I've heard this.
Leaker.
No, he did.
He did.
Are you sure? Do you have a clip of that? Because
you can go back on his channel, Tom Dark Live, and watch the entire stream.
Because I don't think Tom ever talked about the DMs between Erudite and Pixie.
He wasn't talking about those DMs. He was talking
That's
about.
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Is everyone had the DMs between Pixie and Erudite that confirmed that Pixie did not consent for those videos to be out, and also confirmed that Pixie knew, like, basically that was the big crux, is everyone knew that the videos were non-consensual, but during that New Year's Eve stream, Chud was pissed off because Turkey Tom and Nick were trying to like downplay it as if, oh, well, maybe Melina's talking about other leaks and not because the whole thing was, everyone was like, oh, Melina just basically confirmed that those were unconsensual. And they weren't meant to be leaked, that those were leaked and sent to other people without Melina's consent. And Nick had made a statement saying, I think it was on Twitter even, that maybe when Melina said that things were sent without her consent, she was talking about the Leafy situation years ago and not this current situation. And so Chud got pissed off because they were downplaying that. He saw them as downplaying the leaks and trying to shift that the leaks were, that the current Kiwi Farm leaks, that Destiny sent those videos to Rose with consent of the other people in the video. They were trying to like be like, so we don't know if they were, that Destiny didn't have permission to send those to Rose. We don't know because Melina could be talking about the Leafy situation, not this situation. But they all knew that it wasn't with consent because they all had the DMs between Erudite and Pixie stating such, and and in those DMs, now it's not necessarily Destiny himself saying it, because I think all they had at that time was the Erudite and Pixie, where Erudite was talking about money being exchanged and that he, what can we do to fix this? And then later on, when Pixie came out, like with the President Sunday and Beckett stream, President Sunday and Beckett had more that
dude, it's like 26 minutes in, and it feels like they're still just like relaying the information. I feel like when you do a podcast like this, most of it should be like your analysis, Most of it should be like your opinions, your analysis. It should not mostly be you poorly relaying the story, Like, you should try and get the facts of the story out as quickly as possible, and then spend most of it on your opinion. A podcast is not a good format for giving people like a drama rundown. That's better for like an edited video. Especially not when you're like a retarded woman. Like a retarded, like middle-aged woman. And you can't tell a story for shit. That's probably the worst possible time to make your podcast this.
Showed Destiny and Pixie talking, and Destiny being like, I really, you're right, I really messed up. And then everyone came out. But during that New Year's Eve stream, basically Chud was pissed off because he thought that Nick and Turkey Tom were downplaying the fact that, because they knew that it was unconsensual, and they shouldn't be even trying to like make their distancing from Destiny anything more than he sent things unconsensually, and they shouldn't be trying to allude that Melina was talking about anything else other than the current leaks. And so, but he was trying to press them on, because he was like, you know what I know, you guys have what I have, kind of situation. And so that's what TommyC was saying, is like Chud tried to pressure Nick and Turkey Tom to come out about what they knew behind the scenes ahead of Pixie coming out. And Pixie didn't come out for the longest time, because at the time she was trying to deal with it behind the scenes with Destiny, and she didn't want people to know. Like, even though people were speculating, she was still denying it. And so like there was like, people can sit there and be like, yeah, no, that's definitely Pixie. But if she's not admitting that it's her, and unless you go and look at the video, you have to either assume Kiwi Farms is telling the truth or Pixie, but there's no actual fact unless you've gone and seen the video. And even in that video, it's
okay. Like, I'm still unclear. What do you mean? Why did Nick pretend it was about the Leafy leaks? What do you mean pretend? How do you pretend it was about the Leafy leaks? I don't know if there... Are you certain that there was not a single clip in that entire Melina stream that did not refer to there was not a single clip that referred to the Leafy leaks? Are you certain there was not a single clip where she was talking about that, Jacob? Because you're not, are you? I know you're not. Because I'm not. And I know you haven't looked at this more than I have. Yet a lot of people are very convinced that Nick was just totally lying about the Leafy thing. I don't see that's true.
I've seen photos of the video, so I haven't watched the whole thing, so maybe her face is like more in there, but she's bending down, and really there's a lot in it. Yeah.
I had the idea that her face was more in there, and that people were already drawing the conclusion that it was Pixie.
No, people were, but the majority of like the people that would be listened to more kind of situation, because like the people that were drawing the confusion, like that were saying yes, this is Pixie on Twitter, was Sick Unchanged, and Sick is the one that everyone thinks is crazy. He's the one that made the Lavloon video and then took down the video. Like he didn't have a lot of credibility. So basically, people that didn't have a lot of credibility were saying yes, this is Pixie, but people that did have a lot of credibility weren't saying shit about it. So like Turkey Tom and Nick and them, who knew that it was Pixie, had proof that it was Pixie, but were keeping it hidden. And to them, it was, well, we're keeping it hidden because Pixie hasn't come out yet. And to ChudLogic, it was like, no, you guys are keeping it hidden because you guys are afraid of DGG coming after you. You're afraid of Destiny's audience. And Chud made that the point that, oh, you guys are just hiding this information that you know to be true because you're afraid of Destiny. You should, and he did allude on that stream that they knew something that he knew behind the scenes, like they had the same information.
So Chud has it like a few days ago, and I think this is where Tommy is like misunderstanding him, or Tommy is just like putting the tinfoil hat on, is Chud the other day was saying that he saw Turkey Tom distance himself from Destiny, and he was saying the things that he was publicly saying on stream. He saw the Tom go over the leaks on stream, not the Pixie leaks, but the whatever leaks, whatever.
He was going over the
DMs. The DMs.
What DMs was he going over?
I think it was the DMs that were that Destiny had with the leaker specifically, or that Rose person.
Okay.
I think it was that, and Chud says that he had a hunch to press Tom on the New Year's Eve stream, and then that's where Chud admits he pressed Tom, and then Tommy is just misunderstanding him and being like, so he admits it, and it's just like, Tommy, you're taking this to left field. This is factually, Turkey Tom was already distancing himself already and was already publicly saying things, and you're kind of making it sound like Chud is being a snake by pressing Tom in the first place. Or Tom is like, how many subs does Tom have? Like what?
Across all his channels? I don't know. But
he's a big boy. Yeah. Tom can be pressed on a stream. Like, Tommy, I don't think you need to be a daddy figure and defend Tom or Nick like they're your little boys. They're all grown adults. I think they can be pressed. So
yeah, but I mean, and that's like, so that's another thing that Tommy had an issue with, because now, granted, Chud does do this. He'll bring some, like with the Tectone thing. That's the most recent. When Tectone called in Chud, right?
Yeah.
Tectone came in and he was going to have a nice, calm, civil, adult conversation about whatever Chud had an issue with. But Chud wanted Tectone to come on and have an argument and create content. So Chud was trying to create the content, and Tectone was just not having it. He was like, nah, you want to talk to me? We're going to talk, but I'm not going to sit there and try to get baited by you. Because Chud was trying to bait an entertaining conversation, which Chud has done before. A lot of times, he's like,
it wasn't. Wait. It's not even just trying to bait an entertaining conversation with Tectone. What is this bitch fucking talking about? Chud has actual disagreements and issues with Tectone. Tectone's a total piece of insane shit. He's like a total wretched piece of shit. It's not just about baiting content.
We're calling in, and he's like the moderator. And he'd be like, all right, come on, this is boring, blah, blah, blah. And he would be like, what do you guys think? What do you think about him doing this? Like say it, you know, kind of thing. Yeah. So Chud has, like, with the Tectone thing, after Tectone got off the phone, Chud was like, oh, Tectone, he like rolled over and showed his belly, like as if Tectone pussied out of an argument. But the thing is, then Tectone just wasn't going to give you that kind of content. He wasn't that amped up about.
This bitch is actually very dumb. Very dumb. Does not realize what was happening there. Literally, totally lacking context. Tectone was absolutely seething when he made those comments about Chud initially, because Chud had covered his allegations in a negative light for him. He was mad as fuck about it. He was taking shots, and then when Chud actually put some pressure on him, he came on and rolled over. That is absolutely what happened. And then after that, Shamu's video came out, which made him look even fucking worse. And then Tectone's in the comments of that video being like, oh, so we can't drop Tomato Town? It's like the absolute most, blatant, like, what would you call it? I don't know what you would call this, but it's like, basically, someone starts attacking you, and you start acting overly friendly to make it look like they're doing something for no reason. That's basically the tactic, right? Like, someone's doing something to you for just reasons. They're, like, coming at you for totally just reasons. You start going, we're friends, man. We're friends, man. Why are you doing this? It's like, no, you're not friends.
What everybody was saying, like, he probably is hurt that people are bringing up saying that his dad's a rapist, when really what his dad did was he inappropriately touched the women.
Dude, guys, it wasn't rape, okay? It was 14 counts of sexual harassment and assault, and he was just the star case in a campaign called Stop Military Rape. Okay, guys? It wasn't rape, but it was 14 counts of sexual harassment and assault, and he was the star case in a campaign called Stop Military Rape, okay? Let's be totally clear here. Let's be totally clear. He's not a rapist.
Tectone just wasn't going to give you that kind of content. He wasn't that amped up about what everybody was saying. Like, he probably is hurt that people are bringing up saying that his dad's a rapist, when really what his dad did was he inappropriately touched the women. Like, there was no, like, legal rape going on. So that's why they couldn't convince him with rape.
Legal sexual assault.
Convict him. But so Chud does do that. He'll bring someone on. It's never really a civil conversation when it's on stream. And so Tommy also thinks that Chud
That's not true either.
purposely-
Chud has had plenty of civil conversations, dude.
blindsided TommyC by bringing Kuihman on to get them into a screaming match. And didn't really tell Tom. But to Chud's credit, Chud said he's really angry with you. Like he's really amped up about this. And TommyC was like, oh, okay. Like he was just like, okay, but TommyC thinks he got blindsided too. So he thinks that proof that Chud blindsides people is let me bring.
Dude, it's literally just this Jesska Pizzle retard is like completely fried because I've talked so much shit about her and she literally can't say anything back. Like she stopped engaging on Twitter the other day. She said, "You're bad faith. I can't talk to you anymore." It's like so pathetic.
Up this New Year's Eve stream where Chud tried to blindside Tom and Nick, but that's just, it's literally entertainment. And the biggest problem with TommyC is he's got that loyalty thing, but can you really have the loyalty thing where it's like, if we're friends behind the scenes, you should deal with everything with me privately and only deal with things publicly when you absolutely need to when it comes to me because we're friends. He's got that kind of mindset, but you really can't have that kind of mindset online, especially in the case like TommyC doesn't even do that like all the time. Like yes, TommyC has more loyalty and stuff, but if someone like TommyC and Tipster were cool, and I'm sure that TommyC went out like said a bunch of shit about Tipster publicly, you know, kind of thing. So it's I think really the thing that TommyC is trying to do is be like, Nick, you're my friend, but I don't trust this Chud guy, and this Chud guy is friends with Kuihman, who's even less trustworthy. So you should ditch them and distance yourself from them because you're my friend, not their friend, kind of thing. He wants Nick to be distanced, and Nick, it's rare that someone goes after Tommy and Nick doesn't help Tommy, and Nick hasn't helped Tommy at all in this situation. So Tommy's not used to having to fight off the wolves by himself.
Why do you think that? Why do you think Nick hasn't really stepped in?
I think because it's
what is this TommyC tweet? This guy is so retarded, man. Like, again, I'm telling you, this is just saying all the quiet parts out loud. This is so pathetic and embarrassing. This is how they think. This is how they think. There is no, in any way, attempting to come to a real understanding of the situation or what the disagreements are between Ethan and Hassan, why one group is upset with the other, what one group's political ideology means when it's put into the situation. Like, no analysis of that. We don't need to do any analysis of that. Hassan just sucks. Okay, guys? It's just Hassan back. We just don't like him. Just don't like him. I wish they would just say that instead of coming up with a bunch of bullshit rationalizations. But this is how, I'm serious, this is how they all think. This is how they all think. So let's read this. Thanks, H3. Chud will not have an excuse to... let's check the initial tweet first. Let's get the full context. Nukes are dropping. Ethan Klein shared that a second content nuke will be dropping tomorrow.
I am proud to announce that tomorrow, bearing some unfathomably bad luck, will be... the video's done. Tomorrow, the second nuke is dropping. The video is done, and I'm happy with it. It came out good, and let me tell you something. This thing,
Thanks, H3. Chud will not have an excuse to do anyone dirty. That is, if he doesn't think he has the support, you can be sure he will agree with everything you say so as not to piss off Nick, because he's an audience-captured pussy. Personally, I think you hang with Hassan and you get what you asked for, lol. So, I mean, when has Chud ever agreed with everything Ethan said? Like, even when Chud was covering it, I never would have said that Chud was, you know, like, fully bought into the sycophantic following. He soyed out over the CPS stuff for sure. I say soyed out. Obviously, it's reasonable to have a reaction. I think it's fucking terrible. But I mean, in terms of allowing the collective responsibility shit, where all of a sudden every single content creator, every single Redditor is all of a sudden implicated in the CPS call as a result of it happening. And suddenly thinking that so much is justified off the back of it, when, while it's terrible, you can only really justify responding in the appropriate ways the system allows for. You know, you should pursue with the police, with the FBI, with whoever, trying to figure out who made the report. Obviously, that might not be possible. If that's the case, I mean, I'm sorry, but you don't get to just go around starting insane rounds of litigation with a bunch of content creators and subredditors. Yeah, don't even joke like that. Yeah, so obviously it's fine to have a reaction to the CPS stuff, but yeah, I think Chud possibly did get bought in some of the collective responsibility stuff. So, thanks H3. Chud will not have an excuse to do anyone dirty. That is, if he doesn't think he has a support... Oh, I read this anyway. Personally, I think you hang with Hassan, you get what you asked for. So, how does Chud hang with Hassan? What are you smoking? I get he's not literally saying, like, you hang out with him. What is the nuke about, Ian? Oh, we're talking about H3. Oh, is this just bad writing? He's just put... But this is just, like, him, counter-signaling. Being like, I don't even care about Ethan. Is that what this is? I don't even care. I don't even like Ethan. Is that what he's doing here? I think that might be it. Yeah. I think that would make sense. He is just so retarded, isn't he? Like, he literally can't format a tweet. He can't express himself, like, verbally. It's just a struggle every time. So, yeah. I think he had some other tweets here. Why does this guy spend all his time just, like, coping in Discord? What, dude, this is a 40-year-old man. 45-year-old man. Here is my plan to respond to one ChudLogic. 1 point per stream, so I can keep the TommyC tribute show going for laughs. And I will continue to do my stream the way I see fit. I mean 5 fucking hours, lol. It's YouTube drama, for fuck's sake. Imagine thinking you finished me off by being mean. Makes me think if he got the heat I got, he would fold like a tent. Okay. And he keeps his Discord in slow mode as well. Like, what? Why are you spending your time, like, coping with Furin? In Discord. You're an old-ass man.
Part of me thinks it has to do with Kuihman. Like, nobody wants to deal with Kuihman. Like, Kuihman's kind of like... Kuihman is like Mr. Sen and Angry Slug put together. Kind of thing. Where, like,
yeah, because I've... You know, all those people I've doxed, and all those people I've falsely called pedophiles, and all those people all those times I've wound my way in to work with people. You know, there's so many comparisons here, aren't there, you silly fucking... This stupid will never get on a stream and argue anything with me, by the way. Make a real fucking point, you stupid... How am I like either of those people, you stupid fucking... Seriously. Nasty old bitch. This is the same fucking bitch that got hospitalized by Nick the Oreo, by the way.
Kuihman's intelligent and he can point things out, but he's also like... I don't know, Kuihman's just bad faith. Like, he's bad faith because he'll take...
Just bad faith, just bad faith, just bad faith.
He'll take things that people say, and then insert his own assumption about what they meant. And then if the person says, yeah, no, that's not what I meant, he'd be like, no, obviously that's what you meant. It's objectively true.
But how is that? No, I said, about Tommy, I said, I'm fine with accepting what he meant. You can go watch my coverage, you stupid... I said immediately, if that's what Tommy meant, that's what Tommy meant. Fair enough. That is what the statement means, though. The statement, look the other way, means to ignore wrongdoing. That is what that means. Now, I understand Tommy did not mean to use the phrase, look the other way. Or he didn't understand what it meant. So he used it incorrectly. I get that. And I accepted that the moment he said that. You stupid...
True that that's what you meant. And it's like, he turns his assumptions into... It's hard to argue. No.
Thank you for the 5 gifted, Queller. Is she saying, I turn my assumptions into fact, so it's hard to argue with? It's not hard to argue with someone who is assuming something, but claiming it as fact. You go, well, what's your evidence? How does that substantiate it? Okay, you haven't proven that claim. Here's how you haven't proven it. It's very simple. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Godspeed. Hugely appreciated. Thank you. And thank you for the 5 gifted Himstar. That's hugely appreciated from both of you. Incredibly generous. So you can very easily lay out how I'm failing to prove a claim. Have you considered that if you literally can't come up with a way to counter what I'm saying, it might be worth considering that I'm just right. Or is this just a thing you always do, where you can't come up with a good argument against something, so you just assume the person is lying? Seriously, what a fucking idiot.
He's intelligent and he can point things out, but he's also like, I don't know, Kuihman's just bad faith. Like, he's bad faith because he'll take things that people say, and then insert his own assumption about what they meant. And then if the person says, yeah, no, that's not what I meant, he'd be like, no, obviously that's what you meant. It's objectively true that that's what you meant. And it's like, he
never done that.
Turns
never done
his
that.
assumptions into fact. It's hard to argue. No one should argue with somebody that's not going to approach it with a clear mindset of actually having a conversation. And Kuihman doesn't approach anything with, okay, well, if you say that, you know, that's not what you meant. All right, that's fine. Let's move on.
That's literally what I've done. That is literally, I literally did that with TommyC.
That's fine. Let's move on. It's no, I've made this point and I'm going to drill you on this point and I'm going to harp you on this point. And then afterwards, my audience is going to shit on you. And then you're going to freak out about, you're going to say shit about it. And then I'm going to keep on pressing it. And I'm going to keep on pressing. And like, even he's doing it. He's got, he's got his eyes on.
Imagine pressing the advantage when you're right. Imagine pressing the advantage when you're right. Wow, what a terrible thing to do. Huh? I'm sorry, but I'm sick of this fucking mindset from people like Jesska and Tommy and all these fucking losers that being effective is bad. Or like, even Alex Gekmo kind of tried, he didn't actually say it, to be fair. I'm not shit on Alex Gekmo. I actually really like Alex Gekmo. But when I was talking to him in the Twitter space, he was sort of like, I think it was him anyway, said something like, well, aren't you like just doing this now? Like, you're kind of taking advantage of this because Chud said something to talk about this more. Thank you for the 50 Swish Corona, Jenny. Hugely appreciated. It's like, yeah, I am taking advantage of it. Because I believe the things I'm saying. I want other people to believe them too. I want to get my points out there. Because I think I'm right. And I want things to go the way of my principles. Right? Obviously. I feel like this is a very normal thing. So yes, if I see an opportunity to talk about something, and because of some other event that's happened or something like that, or because I'm winning at that point, whatever that looks like, whatever you want to say fucking winning online is, yeah, I'm going to use that. Yes. Because I think I'm right. And I want other people to see that. Obviously. This is like so... how is this a bad thing by any stretch? It just doesn't make any sense.
And it's weird. Like, I had a back and forth with Kuihman on Twitter because someone had posted that TommyC admits to covering for child groomers. And I'm like, whether or not this is a joke, this is the bad faith that everyone's talking about because nobody actually believes.
Was that me? Did I post that? Did I post TommyC covers for child groomers on Twitter? Did I post that? No, I didn't post that clip on Twitter, did I? Someone else posted that clip on Twitter. I just said that what Tommy's saying is that he would allow someone to do, like, essentially grooming, sexual indiscretion with minors, because he said he looked the other way. What does look the other way mean? It means to ignore wrongdoing. Again, there is no argument against this. That's why he just keeps saying bad faith. It's not bad faith. That's what the statement means. You don't know what bad faith means. That's the issue. You think bad faith means negative reading. Bad faith doesn't mean negative reading. And so it's the only reading, to be honest. But it doesn't mean negative reading. Bad faith is approaching a conversation with intentions that are different to the ones you claim. So, for instance, if you claim, we're just here to have a conversation, but really you're farming someone for clips, that's bad faith. If you go into a conversation and say, I'm farming you for clips, and then you farm them for clips, that's actually good faith. But people would take that second one as still being bad faith, when it's not. Also, guys, I need to AFK for like 2 seconds, so I'm going to play music, okay? Sorry. Okay.
That TommyC covers for child groomers because he said that he looked the other way when it came to Chud getting catfished by the trans person.
You want to know? Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
what does look the other way mean? Look the other way does not mean... Yeah, I looked into the situation and saw that you did nothing wrong. That's not what look the other way means. It means the opposite of that, actually. It means you did something wrong and I ignored it. It's not bad faith to read that the way it is what it means. That's retarded. Thank
This
you
is
for the
Lust for Life,
10
very
Canadian.
based.
Huge appreciate. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, good.
I love you. I love you.
Good.
Dude, we used to fight. Like, where's the
Like, all the time.
blood?
Right?
Fucking, you
We're-
stupid
we're
bitch.
adults.
Dude, you're on TommyC side. I hate you.
No, right? No, I'm like, I told somebody, because we talked about it on cam, and I was like, look, I don't like anybody involved. I don't like TommyC. I think TommyC is just as bad faith as Kuihman. But the thing that is happening is TommyC is not used to getting that bad faith interpretations turned around on him without the defense of the commentary community. I think that Nick isn't stepping into it because he doesn't want to deal with Kuihman. I think like he's like, nope, I'm not stepping into it. Because there are things that I think you are wrong on. And even the things that I think that you're right on, I'm not stepping into it because I don't want to deal with that community.
So like, I think Nick doesn't want to step in. First off, I don't hate you, and I don't think you're a
No,
stupid bitch.
I know, I love you.
Dude, can we just talk, like, seriously? I don't know how, if that's Nick's mindset, I don't know how you can respect someone like that. A commentator like that. I don't think that's Nick's mindset. I don't think he just doesn't want to deal with me. I think the truth of it, honestly, is that Nick understands that the Ethan Klein stuff, Ethan Klein versus Hassan, the bad things and the stupid things and the things that are against most of the people around here's principles that Ethan has done are justified by a very fragile narrative of the CPS called justifying it all. It's a very fragile narrative that if you start to question, does start to quickly unravel. It's not about this community being too much or me being too much. He could deal with it if I was wrong and totally insane. Obviously, I think that's blatantly the case. I think the problem is Nick understands there are flaws in this and he wants it to succeed, basically. That's why he doesn't want to talk about the criticisms. That's why he doesn't want to get involved in anything. He just thinks Tommy is being retarded but still values him as a friend for some reason. No, it's not just that he thinks Tommy's being retarded but still values him as a friend for some reason. He was obviously venting to Tommy. Tommy's been telling him not to talk to Chud, not to talk to Aiden. You know, he's still friends with Willie and all those guys, and all those guys are saying the same shit. Like, this is clearly what Tommy's saying is roughly what Diorio, Willie, an amalgamation of what Diorio, Willie, Tom have probably said. Mainly Willie, I'd imagine, based on public statements. Tommy admitted that he told Nick not to talk to those people. Tommy said that. Tommy said that. Tommy said he told Nick not to talk to Chud. And then he said, I told someone that you've been talking to not to talk to you, Aiden. And Aiden had been talking to Nick. So. Yeah, that happened.
I think Nick doesn't want to step in because one, he has bigger fish to fry. He has like other things to do. And two, maybe he wipes his hands of Tommy and he's just like, Tommy can take care of himself. Tommy's a big guy. He can handle
how you can just openly blackball people for just like disagreeing with you. No one's doing anything crazy. No one's doxing. No one's harassing. Nothing crazy's happening. It's disagreeing. It's talking shit. Mocking. Lightly, to be honest. You could go way harder.
Yeah, I don't ever seem like really wiping his of TommyC because he credits TommyC with where he's at today, like starting his career. But yeah, no, there's times it's clear that TommyC and Nick disagree on a lot. Like, of course, we got to talk about the green M&M thing. And like what Nick said, now Tommy didn't show the DMs, but he read them. And what Nick said in those DMs that TommyC considered a threat was basically, if you don't stop engaging with me like I'm a fucking stupid ass child, there's going to be problems. And TommyC took that as, Nick's gonna make a video on me.
I don't think people in commentary are capable of disagreeing without wanting to see the downfall of a person. That's just not true. That's just not true. The time when it reaches, or people wanting to see downfalls, is when you like refuse to engage with any criticism. That's when people start wanting to see downfalls. That's why Nick's getting so much fucking heat from audiences right now. Like from Chud's audience and shit. Because it's refusal to engage. Same with Tommy. If people just argue the points out, it drops. The heat dies. Like, how quickly did it die after Augie and Nick debated the Willie Mack video? It's like they had the debate, moved on. It doesn't have to be. Not all disagreements end with someone wanting to the downfall. The issue is that when it gets to a certain point, it's not even about downfall, right? It's like, eventually, if you're the main guy, right? So right now, Nick is the main guy talking about the Ethan stuff. He is the main Ethan relay channel. So, Nick's talking points, Nick's arguments, are the arguments that are being used by a huge swathe of people. And at some point, if you want any movement on, like, the narrative, which is pretty important to, you know, making sure whatever principles you have are upheld, like, at some point you have to deal with the shit Nick's saying and the way Nick's operating. You have to talk about that. I have to talk about that. I can't sit here. It would be dishonest for me to sit here and just talk in abstract about things people could be saying when I'm fully aware Nick's making these arguments. Like, you have to deal with that eventually. It's not just about feeding people talking points. It's not about that. It's like just the shit you say on your stream. When you're on stream, you make arguments about why you think something. And those get repeated by the people that watch. That is just true. And at some point, to make movement, you have to almost, you know, cut off the snake's head. Do you know what I mean? You have to say, look, this guy made this argument, citing these pieces of evidence, and this is totally flawed. And here's how it's flawed. So everyone that's repeating this, you need to realize this is wrong. That has to happen at some point. Otherwise, whatever narrative, whatever goal is being pushed, just goes past you. It just flies past you. And in this case, I think it's a pretty fucking bad one. To be honest. I think, like, it's a pretty dire situation. Where everyone, all of these YouTubers are talking to Dan Saltman, who's talking to the ADL and Richie Torres, and trying to get more censorship online. I think that's a pretty bad situation to be in right now.
Which makes zero sense.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't. It
no,
literally doesn't.
Zero sense. But yeah, so it's clear that TommyC kind of sees things that nobody else sees, and he likes to pretend like he's always right, but he's not always right. And
no.
You can't. The people that always say that kind of stuff, like, I was right. You guys should have believed me. I was right all along. The people that say that, I'm like, no, you weren't right. You just made a vague prediction, and then this random thing that happened 6 months later, you're going to tie that into your vague prediction because you made it vague on purpose. Like, oh, Chud's going to snake Nick. That's a vague prediction. And so if Chud makes a video on Nick saying, oh, this take about Nick is so shit and Nick's wrong about this, then TommyC is going to be like, see, I told you all along that Chud was going to snake Nick. No, that's that's just a vague statement. You're not right about it. And especially when I know that 9 times out of 10, Nick's not going to really care too much about people saying stupid shit about him. Like, unless it's like serious, like, accusation kind of shit. I think that's the only time
like
that
false accuser. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only time that Nick's like, all right, I got to defend myself. But other than that, yeah.
So Kuihman was starting to criticize Nick, and Nick's response was, yeah, go for it. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And Kuihman and Nick have a dialogue. And I will say, like,
Dude,
as a person...
User, you are so retarded. It's like every fucking day you say something that is, like, newly stupid. Do you think Richie Torres, do you think the ADL are just looking for bans? You think when Dan's going to congressmen and trying to file lawsuits, you think it's for bans? You think it's just bans? Or do you think at this point we're starting to talk about legislation? Do you think we're starting to talk about, like, huge penalties being applied to these companies that could change literally the face of fucking online content creation? How fucking dense are you? Pay some fucking attention, dude.
That has been covered by Kuihman, I've been, like, ridiculed. Best way to get Kuihman off you is to ignore you, or to ignore him. Just ignore Kuihman, and he eventually goes away.
Yeah.
How's that working,
Tommy,
bitch?
eat it.
What?
If you don't take the bait, then Kuihman's like, all right, whatever.
Don't take the bait. And Tommy takes the bait every single time. Every time. Like, nobody is there to tard wrangle him. We need Matt Pitt back to tard wrangle TommyC.
Matt Pitt's been busy on other projects, but yeah, no, but I don't think at this point anybody could wrangle TommyC, and because that's the thing. Like, I really just think the thing that's causing this to be bigger than it actually has to be is the fact that Tommy is reacting to it in such a way that it's like, it's Kuihman. Like, why are you giving this guy air if you don't care about what he thinks? And then why are you turning on Chud because of a single video that wasn't even that totally bad?
Because you just care what I think. Because you just care what I think. Because everyone cares what I think. Because I'm good at saying it, and everyone agrees. Okay, everyone ends up agreeing eventually.
Bad. And yes, I do think that Tommy's right when Chud's like, oh, I'm just, it's just a little bit of banter, but it's like, or joking. Like, I do agree that a lot of times there's truth in what what Chud's saying about how he feels about someone, but he's going to say it's banter or it's joking because he doesn't want to. I think the reason why he does that in most cases is because he's like, it is something that I think is bad, but it's not that bad that I want to cause an issue with it. So I'm going to call it banter or just joking. So, and I don't think TommyC, because TommyC thought Nick was threatening him with a video over Nick saying, if you don't stop treating me like a child, we're going to have problems. TommyC thinks it's not banter. You actually hate Nick. You actually hate Nick, and you're just waiting for Nick to say something stupid to you in private because you're going to leak it and you're going to take him down. And because Tommy's conspiracy. All this.
Yeah, even I don't like. It's just like so crazy with Tommy's claim. Like, even I don't hate Nick. I find it very fucking disappointing the way he's acting, because it's like you are literally cheerleading for some of the most grotesque, disgusting shit that should be completely against your principles based on everything I've heard you say in the past. But I don't fucking hate the guy. It's like I could still see next week Nick turning around and going, yo, I actually fucked this up. I actually did fuck up in a few places and got swept up with this. He could do that. He'd be like, you know what? Welcome back on the team. You know, like, deep. It's just like, it'd be so literally so easy. It's not like I fucking hate this guy. It's like, man, you have obviously fucked up.
Conspiracy, private.
Yes. He treats this as if it's like the mafia, and it's like, Tommy, this isn't the mafia. You're not the Don. Nick is not the mafia Don. I get that that's Nick's little character, but nobody is connected. Stop treating this like the mafia, okay? Yeah. Just because somebody does something on a live stream and you see it as snake behavior does not mean that they're trying to get you, okay? You are in Germany. Chud is in the UK. What the frick is he going to actually physically do to you? Nothing. Okay, so then you don't have anything to worry about. Nothing. He has no merit on your personal life, so you shouldn't really care what he does on the internet. And I get it where you see Tommy maybe is trying to protect Nick from getting screwed over, but again, Nick is a grown adult. How old is Nick? Like 25, 28?
27, I think.
27?
Yeah.
They're all, Nick, Augie, and Tom are all in their 20s. They have to learn these lessons. And Tommy's sitting here trying to fucking baby these little boys, and it's like, stop fucking babying these commentary guys as if they're little children. They're your kids. They're not your kids. Yeah. They're not your kids. And this isn't the mafia.
Yeah. Well, so this might be a little conspiracy brain on my end, but what I think is the reason why I think that Nick might have bitched to Tommy about some stuff that Chud has done. Been like this, this is kind of shitty Chud to do. But Nick wanted to keep it private, but Tommy's like wants it to be public, that Nick feels like that how Nick really felt about Chud doing whatever, the video or something. Because Tommy kind of alluded to that video a lot and how like it obviously bugged Nick. And it's like, I think that Nick was bugged about it and vented to Tommy about it. And then Tommy's like, well, then fuck Chud, get rid of him. And Nick's like, well, no, it's not that big of a deal. And to Tommy, it is. It's like the biggest deal to talk shit, whether like in like friendly fire or not. I think Tommy thinks anytime you talk shit, it's because you don't like the person and behind the scenes. Like, Tommy just is conspiracy brain. So my conspiracy is that maybe Nick actually did complain to Tommy about the video, but Nick didn't think it was like bridge burning situation, and Tommy thinks it's a bridge burning situation, and Tommy wants it to be a bridge burning.
Yeah. I will say, Tommy doing this out of the blue, Tommy wouldn't get this confidence out of nowhere. There could have been at least one person talking to him behind the scenes that was egging him on. You think it's Nick. I think it's Willie Mack. I think Willie Mack.
Well, yeah, I think, okay, so I mean, I think it's pretty clear what happened. Nick vented about Chud making the comments. And then Willie was the main driver. I feel like that seems pretty clear. From everything we can see, that seems to be the case.
Mac was talking to him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kuihman,
or maybe it could have been Nick and Willie Mack, possibly.
Yeah. I mean, they did. Yeah, it could have been. I mean, Willie Mack. But Willie Mack's been public about the fact that he thinks that Chud and Kuihman are being stupid about his videos. Because like the reason that they got mad initially at Willie Mack was because when he made his video about like Destiny, that he didn't talk about all the people that were involved, but like
literally not even remotely close to the complaints. It's fine. This person is just totally retarded. Absolutely. By the way, this person got like absolutely aped by Nick Diorio like 6 years ago, and they've just become a trash panda ever since. Aped into being a trash panda.
Valid reason why Willie's not going to go over anything that he doesn't. He shouldn't have to go through someone's Twitter to find out all the information. Like he asked the person if they want to make a statement, say no, then fine, then I don't have to include your statement. And I think so. Like they all thought that Willie was sweeping, and they all Kuihman and Chud.
That's not even what happened.
Thought that the reason why Willie
don't understand any of the complaints whatsoever. Complete retard.
Turkey are being a little safe around.
Like you could just go watch the Augie debate with Nick. Like Augie absolutely again. Like, Augie totally fucking raped Nick in that debate, and it's so fucking blatant to anyone with ears. Not even eyes, simply ears. Anyone can even hear that debate knows. It was absolutely terrible on Nick's side, okay? It's very difficult to defend that video if you have any awareness of the Destiny stuff.
Initially around the Destiny thing, because they were worried about the Destiny crowd, and they did have some, kind of tangential connection with Destiny, because, Nick used to suck Destiny off all the time. Willie was cool with Destiny. Turkey Tom was really friendly with Destiny. Like, there was a connection. So, like, if in one side, if they had just immediately gone hard on Destiny, they would have had to deal with EG, and it might have looked bad on them to be like just turning on Destiny right away, to be like, oh, well, you're a piece of shit, when not everything was out. And it might have been, I think the way that they did it, coming out hard when they did it after the President Sunday and Beckett videos, and after Pixie was like, all right, I have to come out now because of the videos, it was me, I'm seeking legal action kind of situation. Like, I think that them then was better, because it didn't look like, oh, you were just waiting in the shadows to snake Destiny. And that's what TommyC is saying that Chud is doing, waiting in the shadows to snake. And then the whole reason why your buddy Nick did not come out against Destiny right away was because it would look like optically that Nick was waiting in the shadows, just waiting to snake Destiny over, certain things that weren't confirmed all the way. It's such a mess. And it really I think it just comes down to TommyC is old school, and he's not used to the way things are changing, because things have been changing in his community for a few years. They've just been slowly.
Augie needs to stream more, man. Seriously, Augie needs to stream more. I see. Augie has a very beautiful soul, I can see. Okay. Augie needs to stream more. 100%. He said he was coming back to streaming like last week, but it didn't happen.
Slowly changing, and it's gotten to the point where Tommy doesn't like it anymore.
I mean, things are changing. Like, people are kind of growing a brain. You can't essentially get away with the old things that you used to get away with, where it's like, oh, I can say half the truth, or I can be factually somewhat correct and get away with it. No, you have to be entirely factually correct. You can't get away with stuff like that anymore.
You're turning over as soon as American politics comes up. That's not true, because I can disagree with someone on American politics, and if they don't act like a total bitch about it, it's fine.
Everybody's off doing their own things, and regardless if everybody is off doing their own things, everyone talks shit about everyone.
There's people that I've lost my shit with over American politics, but it's people like Edgar who just do retarded bullshit where you start pressing them on why they believe something, and they just retreat to not wanting to argue it. Extreme Dad, even Extreme Dad, I feel I have a fine relationship with Extreme Dad, I do think he's totally retarded, but I have a fine relationship with Extreme Dad. I like bringing Extreme Dad on once in a while, arguing with him.
It's very childlike to sit there and say, oh, so-and-so talks shit about me, and that's just horrible and snake behavior. It's like, come on. Everyone talks shit about everyone. And, Tommy included. I guarantee you, Tommy talks shit about people. He doesn't want he doesn't want people finding about their shit talk. It's like, dude, if you're going to sit here and point the finger at ChudLogic, you have two pointing right back at you. The things that you were saying about Chud, you can easily apply to yourself.
Yeah.
Or attacking people's credibility. You have a commentary channel that attacks people's credibility. Everybody in commentary attacks people's credibility. I do it myself. I did it with Lio. Everyone does that, attacking the credibility thing. So, but
oh man,
this was a good convo.
It was, and I hope. I think that for the people that I watched.
Wow, so enlightening, and it's awesome that Jesska Pizzle, you can't hear half what she says because it completely cuts out every 2 seconds. Wow, absolutely insane.